I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with the roll call. Commissioner District 1, Daniel Groats.
Present.
Commissioner District 2 is vacant. Commissioner District 3, Stan Bear.
Present.
Commissioner District 4, Randy Overmeyer.
Present.
Commissioner District 5, Jack Sykes.
Present.
The open meeting laws were posted on the back wall and in the hall and on the county website. Proof of publication was in the paper at the York News Times on January 5th. And the first order of business is to elect a temporary chairman of the board.
Madam Clerk, I would make a motion of Jack Sykes as temporary chairman of the board.
Second.
Madam Clerk, I would make a motion that we cease nominations and cast a unanimous ballot.
Any discussion? Roll call, will be Groats,
Yes.
Overmeyer,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
and Bear.
Yes.
Okay, Jack, all yours.
I think the first item on the agenda is to get rid of me and receive nominations for the chairman of the board. Do we have any nominations from the floor?
Mr. Chairman, I would nominate Commissioner Obermeyer for chairman of the Board of Commissioners.
Are there any further nominations?
I would make a motion that we cease, that we close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Commissioner Obermeyer.
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Groats,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
and Overmeyer.
Abstain. Okay. Thanks, Jack.
Well,
You did a fine job.
I had it all written down.
What are you looking at? Well, you did, dude. You always do good.
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right, next on the agenda is elect a chairman, or elect a vice chairman of the Board of Commissioners for the year of 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Daniel Groats for vice chairman.
Thank you, Jack.
I second it.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Groats,
Abstain?
Overmeyer.
Yes. Welcome aboard again, Dan.
Mhm.
Okay, next up, we need to take care of the Board of Equalization. In the same manner, we need to elect a chairman first, so that is up.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we nominate Commissioner Obermeyer for chairman of the Board of Equalization for 2023.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Will there be any other nominations? Okay, nominations closed. We'll do a roll call, please.
Groats,
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Abstain. And once again, the elected vice chairman for the Board of Equalization.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Daniel Groats as vice chairman of the Board of Equalization for 2023.
Thank you, Jack.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Stan. Any other nominations? Have a roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Groats,
Abstain?
and Overmeyer.
Yes, okay, the formality is done. Looks like not much has changed, so we will proceed with the meeting. We need to review and approve the minutes of our January 3rd, our special meeting that we had.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Jack.
Second?
And thank you, Daniel. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Groats,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
and Overmeyer.
Yes, and we need to adopt today's agenda.
Move that we adopt today's agenda.
Thank you, Daniel.
Is there any additional?
No.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Brooks.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. First up is the officials forum. Any official would like to speak? We got 2 or 3 of them out there this morning. Harv's jumping up. Morning, Harvey.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Still hauling gravel in and stockpiling it, trying to get a little bit out where the ice made the roads soft and tore up. We got a little rock out on some of those spots. Other than that, it's just kind of normal winter operating procedures. Road 20, the Bond Bridge is up there. They are going to start closing that project tomorrow. I'll start bringing equipment in, so that Road 20 from Highway 69 to the county line will be closed. Well, I'm guessing probably tomorrow, and then they will start on that project. The detour will be on Road 22 over to 476, the road coming out of Utica. That will be the official detour because it's the best gravel road up there to take everybody around that, since that's the road to Staplehurst. So anyhow, tomorrow we have a pre-con meeting on the Bond Bridge down on Road O. So that was getting closer to starting also. I just don't have a start date for that one. And that's about all that's going on in the road department.
A couple things I had, Harvey. One of the residents from up around the bridge project, we've been in conversations with them, because like you said, the road's closed, but we got residents up there that gotta get in and out.
Yes,
And this was probably a month or so ago. They hadn't heard a lot, but we've been in
Right.
contact with them. Good.
for the immediate people around that have to use those bridges, yes.
Got them away in and
then,
out.
yes, they have a way around, they have their ways around, and then we will mark the detour. And, then they'll just have to see the immediate residents that have to go between the father and son's places, for example. That one right there will be up to the contractor whether he will allow them to go through on the detour around the bridges as they work it through.
Okay.
That'll have to be
Good.
something they work with the contractor on.
Well, I figured we had. I just wanted to bring it up to you. And the other thing is, as I went for a ride this weekend, we got a lot of livestock in our county this winter.
Yes.
And then some of those roads are pretty beat up. They're not main thoroughfares, so we're paying attention to all that. And like I say, it's nothing we did wrong. I mean, there's just a lot more traffic on them where the livestock is, and a couple of them are pretty rough up. I was up northwest, so I'm sure you've been in contact with that. Anything else? Got anything, Daniel?
Just one thing, we talked this morning about personnel. We're down 4 positions, so I think you're gonna run it again.
Yes.
And so anybody that knows anybody that wants a job, have them come see Harvey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always taking applications.
Yeah. Anybody
I
else?
have a choice.
Okay, thanks, Harv.
You bet.
Gary. Morning, Gary.
Good morning, welcome aboard, Stan.
Thank you.
I'm Gary Peterson, I'm the Emergency Management Director for York and Seward counties.
Nice to meet you.
Good you. To give you a little update on the progress of the safe room, FEMA sent my application back and they wanted more information. And the one thing that they're classified as a community safe room, since they only have residential and community classifications, well, that comes with more requirements, so I have to put in a portable restroom in there, and, that takes up space. And so I'm trying to make it fit into what we originally were planning on. This is an aging safe room for the State Aging Services Building. It's a tornado shelter we're trying to get a grant for. And, we have originally put it in for 6.5 by 8.5, which should hold, Lori said 9 people is what they're looking to do. It's gonna be, that's the most. She said a lot of people are gonna leave, so it should be plenty big for that. So I'm trying to make it fit with what their requirements are. So I'm still working on that. And I also emailed NEMA because NEMA's asking for quotes, and there are also engineering requirements, and, I was talking to Leila, you know, some grants that we work with, if you get a quote from somebody, you can't have them bid on the project then. So I'm trying to get a clarification on that to make sure that, you know, if they're requiring a quote, how can we, you know, get anybody to bid on it then? You might only get one bid then from another company, so. I'm trying to get clarification from NEMA on that too. We'll, what else on that? And there's other supplies we have to put in there, and then, once we get it completed, then we'll have to go work on a, you know, SOP for the use of the safe room and stuff too, but that shouldn't be too bad. I don't have a part-time assistant here in York County or Seward, either one now, so, I'm not in a big hurry to get advertised, because it's pretty hard to fill, because I don't need, you know, a lot of hours, and the way the job market is now, is probably pretty slim and none to get somebody that wants really part-time work. We did a cognitive operations plan, the last year, for all the county offices. Basically, you know, if they can't work in their office, or personnel loss, or that, how are you gonna keep operating, you know, if you lose power? And so we're gonna, the big thing is cybersecurity too on that. So we're gonna try and do a tabletop exercise with the offices this coming year. I don't know exactly when. Our Southeast Region Emergency Managers, they're gonna do an exercise in March. I'm just gonna kind of see how that one goes. Fillmore County also was in on this grant to get that cognitive operations plan done, and so they're gonna use her plan for that. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes and kind of tailor off of that. Last thing, you know, working on resource typing with our fire departments, basically getting their equipment, you know, what they have for equipment, we put it into different types, type 1 to type 4. And that way, this is a NEMA requirement, FEMA. They, you know, if another community requests a type 1 tanker, then that's what they get from requests, you know, they put them in different categories. Once we get that done, then we'll make tags for each piece of equipment, so if they go to a major incident, they can just be scanned in, and then they know that that piece of equipment is on scene. It's the same what we're doing with the, you know, IDs for people too. They can scan them in at an incident too. So, that's my report.
Okay.
Let's got any questions, Bree?
I'd just say, let's see where we're going with this safe room. I mean, if it gets too far out of line,
Yeah, well,
let's visit a little bit about it. Maybe it's just something, it's like the building. When we were gonna build a new one, we had to go through all these steps versus just buying one and.
well, the good thing about it, you know, they pay 90% right now. It used to be 75%, so
Right.
they'll pay 90%. And, you know, the quote, like say this quote thing kinda has me concerned.
Portable restroom got my attention.
Yeah, and,
I'm not sure how we're gonna do that.
well,
Is that a bucket?
basically, it's just gonna, you know, what I found online is just, it can be like a bucket with
Okay.
a little screen that comes up, and
Okay.
nobody's gonna use it, but but,
It's gotta be there.
I think what I'll do, you know, I'm gonna try and get everything, the information
Okay.
they need. I have to have it done by the 20th. And, I'll send this back, and if they send it back again, then we'll see.
We'll talk.
But I'm anxious to see what NEMA says about, you know, all these requirements, you know, like I say, for the quotes and for the
Sure.
engineering requirements. Because if you get engineering requirements for one safe room and they don't get the bid, well, then you don't have it, you know, it's just I don't know.
Right,
I don't see how you can get a quote from one company. and-
not in a small community.
Because it's gonna have to go out for bids, because it's gonna be almost 20,000.
Right. Okay,
All right,
anything else, guys?
all right, thank you.
Any other fish for Leila? Good morning.
Good morning. Two things I wanted to discuss with you guys. The Southeast region for 911 is pushing through with our next generation environment project. We signed a contract with Lumen. Lumen would be replacing Windstream, who is servicing our 911 network and our equipment. So it should take about 9 months for that implementation equipment install. We did end up choosing the host site location to be off-site, not in Nebraska. So our 2 host locations for our 911 networking would be in Colorado and in Arizona. Those are owned by Lumen, serviced by Lumen. We were really looking forward to that because everything is taken care of by Lumen and we wouldn't have to worry about hosting our host into a 911 center within our region. So kickoff should be soon. Again, 9 months to get us up to date. We're one of the last regions in Nebraska to be joining the next gen environment. And we're hoping to have that done by end of 2023. And then lastly, just want to let you guys know we had hired 2 dispatchers to start. We had Kelly start with us on Monday and our next one will start February 1st. So when Taya starts February 1, we'll have 3 dispatchers in training at that point. So with that, I just wanted to open it up to any questions you may have.
Go ahead.
You had, and we had talked about the next gen before. I mean, it's sort of been brought up here before. Could you give a very quick synopsis of
Yeah.
how that's gonna help?
Yeah, so right now 911 calls are coming over a copper wire circuit line, a phone line.
Mm-hmm.
And when we join Next Gen, all of your 911 calls would be routed over IP. So the state has this project, it actually was bid and taken over by Lumen. So Lumen is not only gonna be in charge of the state, but they're gonna be in charge of our
Sure.
region as well, which will be nice. Less hands in the cookie jar. But neat thing is 911 calls will be routed faster. There will be more accuracy going over that IP network. Eventually, with how quick technology is advancing, soon, I would say probably 5 to 7, 10 years, we'll be getting pictures and video through 911.
Very
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Anything else for? Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Any other officials? Megan, you just here visiting? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to public forum, or at this time, you guys didn't have anything to do, okay? If you'd like to speak to anything that is not on the agenda, you can do so. Morning, Willard.
Morning. I'm trying to catch Harvey's attitude. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. Willard Peterson, 514 Road 13, York, but I'm a proud resident of Bradshaw. Asked the Postal Service why I have to be in York. Address. Anyway, I only had 2 things this morning, but now I got 3. After the emergency manager talked, and I'll do that one first. I have talked before about you guys and government overreach, because you have mentioned that government overreach is a problem for you guys a lot of times, and I totally agree. And this thing with the safe room, or whatever they call it, at Aging Services, of course is ridiculous. I just want to remind you again that I've heard from you guys that you say, well, that's a whatever and we can't do anything about it. Just want to remind you, if you don't try, you're exactly right. Nothing will happen. So please keep that in mind. The other thing I want to remind you of that I've mentioned several times before, and since we have a start to a new year, you got the speaker system fixed pretty good in here, but it is a fact in the fine arts and acting that some people's voices carry better than others. Some people's voices do not carry hardly at all, and there are some people on this board that was that way. Remains to be seen about my new illustrious representative, but just want to remind you to speak up. And by the way, I did have a hearing test not too long ago, and contrary to what my wife says, I can hear fine. So, all right. And the last one is, if I understood it right, when you elected or appointed, I believe, their representative on the Four Corners Board to finish the last year. If I understood it right, you'll be appointing somebody, for that permanent position for a full term. And I have absolutely nothing at all against the person that you put in there as the temporary. But I would like you to think about, and this has, for anybody that doesn't know in here, I did say I would be interested in that position. What I'm saying now has nothing to do with that. But I think it might be worth thinking about to have just some regular, what I would call Joe Blows on there. I don't know that it's necessary to have total professionals. Anyway, just think about that, because by somebody's remark, all of the candidates that expressed interest in that, they said were very, very good candidates. And so just think about that maybe it would be nice to have somebody that's just somebody to be on that board. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Willard. Anybody else? Public forum? Nobody else gets up, we'll keep moving on. We have no reason for executive session this morning. I do not believe there's any general assistance cases. So the next step will be review and approve payroll and vendor claims that we would have had in front of us. Everybody have an opportunity to look through them.
Mr. Chairman,
Questions?
there was one, I believe we got the question answered, but, under the ARPA funds, there was a bill to
2,000.
Pulse Broadband for 2,000.
Right,
I believe we found out that that's the feasibility study.
yes,
And I know that's been a while ago that study was conducted, but we just haven't
right.
put our input into that.
They didn't do any billing up until just about a month ago.
Sure.
This board approved that feasibility study a year ago.
Right.
And then it was ran, and then we got the results springtime,
Yep.
somewhere in there, yes, and they just didn't bill.
Okay.
So that was what we had committed to a
Yep.
year ago.
Very good, thank you.
Anybody else see anything else?
Did you got your question answered from earlier? Great.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve then.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we approve the vendor and payroll claims for January 10th.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes,
Overmeyer.
Yes. No funding transfers needed. Next up is discuss and act on adopting resolution 2023-911 surcharge. Something we do annually. Should have had that also in your packet. Any questions on that one? Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Leela is still in the room. I believe what we did last year, we left it at $1.
Yes.
And I believe that is where we're maxed out on what we can set it at.
Correct.
And as far as you're concerned, I think we'd just leave it where it's at.
It's been at $1 since I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
We've had it, so I guess it's up to you whether you want to reduce it or keep it at.
Okay.
And once again, this is the land
Yep, this is
line.
landline.
This is the money that comes into us
Wireline.
through various companies versus the other one is the wireless that comes in via that's the one that's changing.
This includes VoIP too, landline and VoIP.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think pretty much everybody's leaving it
Mhm.
at $1,
Yep,
I think, across. Which is getting smaller and smaller
It is.
because there's less people
Sure.
with landlines.
Sure. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you.
yes,
For that.
thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we set the surcharge at a total of $1 for 2023. Do we need to adopt a resolution for that?
Yes,
To
it's
make a-
resolution
Yeah, make a,
21-1, or 23-1, sorry.
make a motion that we adopt resolution 23-1.
Yes. Thank you, Daniel.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Excuse me, Rhodes,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, next up of our short agenda this morning is discuss an act on authorizing the chairman to sign emergency declarations and closing of the courthouse. This is something that we've done now for several years, as far as I know. We added the emergency declaration here this last year, sometimes when Gary has paperwork that needs to be signed, sooner than, or it's best to get it in as soon as possible. So it's allowing the chairman to sign that declaration's brought forward. And then, of course, in terms of inclement weather, which we had a case of it just a couple of weeks ago. It's touched on in our manual about the procedures to be able to do that. And the chairman, along with other various department heads, to discuss whether the courthouse should be closed, and in terms of inclement weather or in terms of other, things that come up. Thankfully, we haven't had the bomb threat now for a couple of years, but, stuff like that. So, that's what was being put up here again. Any questions on that? And entertain a motion if somebody would like to.
Is that, just a motion, or is that have to have a resolution?
Just a simple motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Jack.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Daniel. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
and Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, we've got jail visits that we'll be able to obviously get done before our 9:30 board of equalization, but we can go ahead and do, committee reports if somebody has something to report.
Mr. Chairman, it's been a fairly light couple of weeks. YCDC Exec Board will meet this week, so hopefully be able to attend that. And other than that, there's not been a whole lot of stuff to report.
Okay. Jack, you got anything?
Yes, after their meeting last, 4th, I believe it was, I was asked to go to the Region 5, board meeting to vote on the hiring of a new CEO. They went through quite a process. I guess they had over 80 applications for that position. The person that they recommended was Patrick Kreifels, and he's already worked for Region 5 for 14 years, so he's pretty well versed on what they do. He was their unanimous recommendation to be appointed, and the vote was taken, and he received unanimous votes to be hired. So that was about all. That was a very short meeting. I went with past
Your escort took you?
escort took, he rode with me, and he introduced me to a lot of people, so I know a lot of names somewhere in my memory bank. But I don't remember all the names, but I met a lot of people.
Good.
And they have a meeting, their next meeting, which they would like to have a permanent representation from this council on February 13, 2023. And they generally have two meetings. One starts at 9:30 a.m. and then they have a system meeting at 10:30. So they basically have two meetings
That morning.
at one time.
And I believe they meet quarterly, right?
Bill said sometimes they meet about 8 times a year.
Oh, that much, okay. Yeah, we will have, we thought we'd hold off on any appointments until we're full.
Yes.
And obviously the seat that we're talking about, there's an advertisement that went in the paper, has been in the paper a couple times, will be in again today, hopefully. And we'll see some applications come in, and I think they're open till the 19th to get those into the clerk's office, so. Good, well, thanks for going, appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because Bill felt strongly that we had leadership at this particular meeting, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
No.
That's it. Kelly, do you have anything?
No.
No. Stan, I assume you probably don't have anything, since how you were just swore in last Thursday. Okay, as Melanie can, and she was in the paper, or had it in the paper, we had our swear in last Thursday of all elected officials. I was able to catch Mr. Bulgren as he left being a commissioner and started being assessor, and we presented him his stuff up in the courtroom. We had good attendance that day. Some family members were there, which is nice to see too. Support, which is we all need that. I did have a 911 joint communication meeting, and that is something Bill sat on also. So hopefully by the next time we meet, we have somebody there. Basically, Leila just went over what she went over today. Everything's going good. And the process for these employees that she talked about, once we get them hired, like the one started this Monday, it's 3-4 months of training. So it isn't like you just walk into that job and take off. They get trained for a while before they can take over. The one thing that we need to get after, and I guess I really need to get after this, Mr. Johnson, I know was trying to get some meetings going for zoning in December, and December is not a good time to get meetings going for anything. But we are short a person yet on that board, and that term runs out at the end of this year. So we really need to get that filled, and we really need to get after those. So I will go after that with vigor or whatever we want to say. We got to get it done. So that's where we'll be. So we'll patiently wait the new member. So everybody knows the process. I believe Melanie probably knows it well. Is the clerk, the treasurer, and the county attorney, all of which are present here right now. We'll take those applications after the 19th, and they will either have a meeting or have interviews or however they want to run it. But at some point in time, I believe one of the meetings has to be public to announce. I don't know that it has to be that way for interviewing, but to announce. So we'll patiently wait our next member, which will finish out a term. It won't be a full term, but we'll finish out a term. Okay, anybody have anything else? Stan, you got anything to add? Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Kurt ran, I had questions about how the bills are, calculated,
Okay,
and he went through it with me,
okay.
so.
How they're presented or?
Yeah, how they presented, who's in charge and who signs off on it. Each department head has to sign off on each bill, and which is pretty much normal, which other boards have been on. So I found out who did that. Oh, by the way, do we ever use credit cards for purchasing? And who has credit cards?
Mostly the department heads.
All
Or the
departments have
elected
one?
officials, just whoever wants one of the departments. So if the elected official or department head wants one, I can get them one. So would you want one?
No, I just
Okay.
wonder what the procedure is. Who can have one and,
Like a lot of the deputy sheriffs have them, because they travel a lot,
okay.
so, yeah. And then they have to sign a form saying, what they can use it for and what they can't use it for.
Right. Because in the past, over the last years, when you see somebody from the county get in trouble, it's usually with a credit card. They use it for personal uses, then for fraud. So what's the guarantee, or what's our oversight on that, on the credit cards? Do we have an oversight on it that watches out, or for fraud, or who
Well,
does that?
when they turn in that credit card bill comes in, then that has to match up with what they have purchased, for the county. And that, I would say, really goes to the clerk's office, to the accounts payable, sees it, and then, of course.
Checks it out.
Yes,
We have to have receipts before
Okay.
we can pay the credit card.
Okay,
And the credit card has to be paid every month, or they just stop our credit card for everyone. So if we don't have the correct receipts, we contact the person that didn't give us the receipts, and we go from there.
okay.
Yep.
That's the question I had.
to my knowledge, we haven't had any
No,
troubles.
that's just
That
good.
doesn't mean they can't.
But you read about it.
You do, absolutely.
I've had a credit card from the county since I was elected the first time. Used it once to buy the chairs that you're sitting in. And it was borrowed by the other offices because hardly anybody has a credit card. But I've had one for 10 years and used it once.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, well, if there's nothing else that we have, we'll take a recess, we'll go do our jail visit, and then we'll come back at 9:30, to convene, to adjourn as Board of Commissioners, then reconvene as Board of Commissioners. Okay, we good? We're recessed. Thanks, Mel. I assume you're not gonna stick around. There's really not much on, you do whatever you want.
I can always jump back in on mine.